tides of darkness have come again. Cries of war echo upon the winds. The world is poised upon the brink of war. The remnants of the past scar the land, which is besieged once again by conflict.
Greetings everyone, Epigon here with a guide on how you can enhance the look and feel of old games such as World of Warcraft or GTA, and many more with only a few simple steps. Now, the reason I wanted to make this video was that while digging on the internet for solutions to make some of my older games look a little bit better, most of the tips and guides out there, although useful, either had me using the console to make modifications to my game, had me typing in command lines and altering my config files, and generally stuff that is not really user-friendly and way too much work and research involved for the average Joe to find this type of stuff useful or even worth it, even if a lot of people want to make their games look a little bit better. Some alternatives also included the usage of ENBs, and while I have played around with ENBs in the past while modding my Skyrim game, I generally tend to find them clunky to install and set up properly, not to mention that they are monsters when it comes to the resources they hog, and therefore are not really suitable for a low-end, even certain mid-range PCs. With all of this in mind, what is someone then going to do if they want to play old games on their new shiny modern PC, but no support has come out for those old games in more than 5 to 10 years? Well, this is where I found an easy solution to my problem, by coming across a neat little program called ReShade. This program is completely free to download off of the developer's website. You just visit reshade.me and download the file. And while I will be covering how to install it properly on your World of Warcraft game, there is a list on the developer's website with many of the games that this software has support for. So if you're looking to know if your game is compatible with the software, simply head on over and browse the list for the game that you want to install this one for. After you've downloaded the files off of the website, simply copy the installer file inside your World of Warcraft game folder. And do note, it is best for you to make a backup of your WoW folder just in case you are not happy with some of the settings or you want to revert to a previous version to make a compare and contrast between then and now. It's just a good idea to have a backup available to you. After you've copied the installer, simply run it, and you'll be prompted for you to select the game you want the settings to apply to. In our case, this is going to be World of Warcraft. For our next step, you will want to select the rendering API that the program is going to install. Now, the way you determine which rendering API works best for you is based off of your graphics card. If you're running an NVIDIA graphics card, then I would suggest that you use either of the two Direct 3D versions for it. If you're running an Radeon or ATI graphics card, then it's best for you to use an OpenGL rendering API. And OpenGL generally tends to have a more broader application than Direct 3D. So simply click on your rendering API of your choice and proceed to download the collection of all of the effects and plugins that you will need to install for them to run inside your game. After the download finishes, you will be prompted with a list of all of the available effects and plugins that you can install for your game. Because we will be enabling and disabling them from within the game itself as we see suited based on our personal preferences, we're just going to enable all of them from the get-go. And then we're going to close the application. Now it's time to see how these settings will take effect within the game itself. So load up your World of Warcraft, and you will know that you have successfully installed your software if you see this little gray console at the very top that is loading in your effects. Note that the first time you will be running this, it's going to go a little bit slower since it has to load in all of the effects. After it's done, the bars will simply disappear, so we can now go inside the game and see how we can change our World of Warcraft game. So now that we're inside the game, we want to see what this program offers us in terms of customization. To better see the changes take effect, what you'll want to do is turn off your user interface while you're doing the customization. You do this by default by clicking Alt-Z, which makes every part of your UI disappear so we can see the screen clearly. And then you want to bring up the console by hitting Shift plus F2. The first time that you'll be loading in this program, you'll be presented with a little console menu. You simply click Continue. You create a custom profile for your settings. We will name this Epigon for now. Hit Continue once again, and then click Finish. And now we are able to make changes to our game as it suits our own desires. So, what are some of the effects that you can enable or disable with this little program? Well, you can change the sharpness. You can see them take effect in real time. It makes everything look a little less blurrier and more lively. It just makes everything pop up a little bit. You can add ambient light. And as you can see, it gives it that fantasy vibe, perfect for anyone that is trying to do some role-playing within the game. I'll leave that on for now. You can change the clarity, making the objects in the world pop up even more. You can mess around with the colors. Making everything look more vibrant. You can change the depth of field, which adds that little bit of blurriness to distant objects. You can tune the sharpness of the game. If you enable all three of them, you can actually see that everything looks way too sharp. So we'll hold those off for now. But anyway, just play around with the settings, see what works for you and what doesn't, customize everything to your liking, and when you are done, simply close the window by clicking the X button at the very top. And you are now ready to play the game exactly as you want to. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Leave a like, comment, and subscribe if you found it useful. Epigon signing out.